Hi there, it's your boy, the Insane Game Freak. How are you doing, guys? No. Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy, the Insane Game Freak. I'm back at it again with another video. You know what? Video. I record videos. Since when? I'm gonna stop. But the point, I'm here to make a video for you guys. I hope you enjoy it. Because I don't know when I make these anymore. I have to get into a mindset. It's okay. It's a long process. But we got it. So I wanted to talk about something that is a little bit more personable, but it's something I think is very interesting and something very important. So there's been talks and conversations as of recently about the loneliness epidemic, particularly because I think COVID really took a light and went, shine upon you. I'm going to shine my light upon you to make the point that I was indeed making. The reality is that COVID isolated a lot of people. And through that isolation, people had to do one or two things: face themselves and any type of trouble and trauma and mental anguish that they had been suffering from. And a lot of people, through that introspection, came to the conclusion that they are indeed lonely individuals. And a lot of people started doing things about it, some of which were healthy, like going to therapy, and other things like subscribing to addictions that don't really help the problem of anything, just exacerbate it. And I wanted to talk about it because I feel like the problem of loneliness is something that needs to be more discussed than the results of it. Like, give an example: alcohol addiction, drug addiction, porn addiction, all kind of hover around this idea of, I don't like myself very much, or I don't like how I feel most of the time. So as a result, I need to distract myself with something, anything. I'm fumbling around, just looking. Oh, look, I found some pills, something. Maybe I get on the game, just anything to distract my mind, because the reality is crushing. And what frustrates me is how overtly obvious it is that our world thrives off of that loneliness. To give an example, I'm going to use this and people are going to get mad. OnlyFans models, Twitch thoughts, them and the like, right? They stay well paid because we can't get out and socialize and live our own lives in a healthy way. And as much as you might love the relationship with those streamers, they have no interest in facilitating you to become better people, because you becoming better people then means you won't be watching Twitch as much. Therefore, they're not getting any money or viewership from you. Unfortunately, the way our current world works is that we have made it increasingly hard to live happy, healthy lives. With anything, we've made it extremely easy to die at a young age in the worst way possible. For example, why is it that the most unhealthiest food you can buy and get for yourself is literally called fast food? It's the easiest and the quickest thing we can get, but it costs you in some cases more money than just getting groceries, and in most cases is more unhealthy for you as a whole. But it's quick and convenient. I very much have come to the conclusion that the way life works is that nothing you ever need is easy. Nothing you absolutely need is easy. Why? Because if it was easy, that means that it's actively hurting you. And I haven't really tried it with everything in my mind, but I noticed the same thing goes for like the sexual gratification. To create a healthy relationship and an interaction with your partner of choice that leads to some sort of a healthy relationship, marriage, or whatever, that takes time and work. And it requires you to also work on yourself while also working with your partner and developing as a unit. Versus the easy fast food situation of going online and either ordering a sex worker to do X, Y, and Z with you for a certain amount of money. It costs more money and it's quicker to do because it's a very transactional thing. And then you have people who end up developing parasocial relationships because we already don't know how to socially interact. Everybody has a down bad moment. Everybody has a down bad state of mind. It comes from the fact that I'm stuck alone in my thoughts, or just the sad realization, because as much as you can try to push things away, they come back. Alcoholics don't be alcoholics for like 10 minutes. And then once the memory is gone, that goes away. No, those memories loop back around. They come back and they're haunted by those memories and thoughts. Therefore, I need something to distract myself to keep me away from the cold reality I don't want to face. And what's easy to do? Find yourself something you can completely surrender yourself to. People can do this with TV shows and movies. People do this with going out in clubs and making bad decisions there, because there's a bunch of people around you who don't inherently care about your well-being, and all they really want to do is just continue their own high because they got their own stuff they don't want to deal with. I'm not saying everybody who goes to the club is like someone avoiding their problems, but if you obsessively go to the club, you don't want to go home, there might be a little concerning issue you might need to go get addressed with your therapist. The problem is that, at least in my generation, therapy is not a thing that was promoted ever. I didn't even think I started hearing about therapy as a viable solution to people's problems until like my 20s. And even then it was sparingly. It's only been like in the last 5 years where therapy has become this overly viable option that no one ever talked about before. Because we were raised by people who never dealt with their problems. There are older generation individuals who literally said, if you had a problem, you better just grind it out. Because when you grind it out, you can get everything else you need to do get done. And those individuals grinded themselves into the dirt. They destroyed themselves. But the one thing they can get credit for is that their family was financially situated when they died. The problem is, a lot of those kids have issues with their father because he was never around, because he was working so much. There's issues with his wife because his wife, although understood what he was doing, hated that she lost her husband to work. Like, there's a bunch of underlying issues. And I think the thing I've come to the realization of is that is not a way to live. That way of living doesn't benefit anybody. But you don't have a baseline. There's no baseline to figure this stuff out. So you're fumbling in the dark to get it situated. But it does go back to the mantra of the video. Nothing in this world comes easy. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, this is some basic level understanding of how life works. Which you're right. It absolutely is. But you'd be surprised how many people don't get basic stuff. Because if you understood it, we'd be better at dealing with it. This is coming from a guy who's fat and diabetic being literally my own fault for overeating, which has been an issue since I was a child, right? That's the problem. The convenience of things has only gotten better, which has made me less productive in ways I need to be. That's the same trap these kids, and the problem is that we have kids being indoctrinated into bad habits way too early. My mother, I'm from the South. My mother cooks Southern food. Southern food usually is not healthy, but that's how I was raised, so that's my default. Well, I'm already starting off on a bad faith line. And the same thing with these kids who don't have any interactions with girls, let alone like other people. And the first thing they're introduced to as like young children is Twitch and streaming. And then you go online and you find yourself a Ludwig or a Pokimane or, God forbid, an Amaranth. And you fall into the hole. And some of you would go, well, what's wrong with some of those? Parasocial relationships. When I can't function in normal conversations, but I can be like, oh man, I catch every Ludwig stream. I catch every Pokimane stream. I love Amaranth's content. You do that and it creates the small signs of addiction. So by the time you go out of being 12 or 13 and turn to a 16, 17, 18-year-old person, you've done nothing but create these false relationships online that don't mean anything, and you no longer have the ability to function in the real world because all the time you spent online was time that could have been spent developing like an actual personality and a sense of self. And so now you struggle and you suffer because of it. And it's a sad, sad reality that a lot of us get caught in because it's too easy. Running theme, failing at life is way too easy. It's way too easy. There's nothing that's going to make you wanting to do better for yourself easy. The idea is that when you are playing on standard or easy mode in real life, You have actively got to go out of your way and make things harder for yourself. And in a world that's already hard in various other ways with the economy and the government and wars and all this other nonsense going on in your countries, you know what would be nice is if the one thing in your life could just be easy. Unfortunately, as I've said before, the rule seems to be if you want to become happy and successful in a healthy way, you need to go the hard route. There's nothing in this world worth having that you get easily or that is just given to you. There might be some exceptions, but the majority of those things you need to work for. And the problem is in modern society, people don't like the idea of working for stuff. Because let's be real here, who the hell is trying to work after getting off from work? But that's what it is. It's not only the physical work you do at your job, it's also the mental work and the emotional work you have to do on yourself as an individual. Self-reflection is hard. Acknowledging your own biases and prejudices is hard. And then acknowledging them and then working on improving them. All of that is hard. But overall, it's a fight worth fighting, but you're not going to feel it until you're there, which is the worst guarantee. But I would say look at those who have accomplished those things and ask yourself, would you rather be the way you are, the way you feel now, or would you rather be the way they seem to feel about themselves? And even then, I wouldn't even even ask that question. You know why? Because if you're not happy, it doesn't matter. If you're not happy with the way you are now, then what would it hurt? You can't feel any worse than you already do about yourself. Balance is the key. It's the absolute key. I'm trying to get back into the groove of making videos, so I'm going to just put out stuff, and if it hits, it hits, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. I just need to get into a groove again, like when I was 18, 15 years ago. Oh, my God. I'm 33. I'm going to stop. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for support. This has been your boy, Insane Game Freak. Let's the game, play the win, and I got you guys later. Woohoo.